Whoa, make that switch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the City Kia Show, filmed live right here at City Kia. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody.
So, Trendy, this is our first podcast for 2024. Guys, we're excited to get back with you after a long holiday. Wasn't like we took a break. You know, City Kia never stops, and December is one of the most hectic times of the year for all of us. You know, between traveling and gifts and Christmas and New Year's Day and New Year's Eve parties. So it took a toll on everybody, but here we are. We're back at City Kia with a lot of amazing things we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks. I'm so excited to share. I just came back from a meeting in Las Vegas with some future plans of things that we're going to be doing with Kia and our partnership. And ladies and gentlemen, Trenny, what exciting thing happened in December, guys? The Amway Center is no more. It is now the Kia Center. Of So as you see, all our customers and our employees here, our team members are all excited about it. So Trenny, what are we going to talk about today?
Oh, yes. What are we going to talk about today? Let's see. Today, we already covered that one, Raul.
Okay,
so,
you tell me.
No, we covered that one too. Raul, what do you want to talk about today,
Okay,
Raul?
this show's going just as planned.
Let's go.
So let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. So
Let's
during
do
the
it.
pandemic, Trenny, leasing kind of faded, got slowed down. The volume of leasing decreased because the interest rates on leases had gone up so high, just like on the car purchase. What we're seeing now, ladies and gentlemen, is your options are back. Now you really need to consider, should I lease a car or should I purchase a car? Because now leasing is back to a leasing advantage. And there's a lot of advantages to leasing, and I'm gonna go over some of those, Trenny. But, you know, like in my home, we many times would have one purchase car and one lease car. And sometimes we've had two lease cars at the same time. So, and Trenny, I think you have leases, right?
I had leases, and now I don't have leases.
Right, because when you switch your cars during the pandemic, the leasing wasn't an advantage.
Exactly.
So she bought them. But I believe, like your next two vehicles, you and Donnie really need to think about it. You may have to lease. You may want to lease.
Right.
Because there's so much more protection. And that's what I wanna focus on. You know,
But wait, before you focus on that, okay, let's take it back to the old days. Old school, the reason why we used to think it was better to purchase a car is because you thought like you're gonna own the car. But
right,
that's a myth because the bank owned the car.
Let me start with your point. So a lot of customers, the trade cycle has now become that over 70% of Americans now are changing the car every 3 to 4 years. Most loans are 5, 6, and 7 years. So when you trade out that car, you don't own the car, the bank does.
Right, you never
So
own the
here's
car
the
to
other
begin
thing
with.
that you own. When you buy a car, you also pay for depreciation. So you say, how's that? Yep, you bought a car for $30,000. A year later, it's worth $20,000. You lost $10,000 to depreciation because cars adjust.
Right.
When you lease a vehicle, let's say a vehicle's worth $40,000, and we create a box. This box is the $40,000 vehicle. When you lease a vehicle, Trenny, and all the folks at home listening to us, when you lease a vehicle, you're only paying for the time that you're using the car. You're only paying for the depreciation between the first month and the 36th month of the vehicle.
Right.
It's pre-calculated into the residual.
Right.
Leases are based with two factors. Residual is the resale value of your guaranteed purchase price at the end of the lease. On the day you lease a car, we tell you what that you can buy that car for or sell it to us for at the end of the lease. But remember, you're only paying for 36 months of depreciation. When you buy a car on a 6 or 7 year note and you trade it in 3 years, you've already paid for the 6 years of depreciation. So you take that loss. Where in a lease, you do not take the other half. You only pay for the first half that you use. You're only paying for what you use. So, but here, there's a few caveats here. Let's get into that. Leasing is also the best way to get rid of negative equity. I'll give you an example.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Though? I know you're on a roll, but you are the smartest person in the room when it comes to all of this stuff. So going back to what you were saying about the money in the car, you're only paying for what you use. In the old days, you just turn in your lease period, and you can still do that, but now people have bought their cars after the lease.
Right, so
But
those
that's
same
not-
people will be trading them in and leasing cars again.
And that was only for a second, but that's
Because of the pandemic
because
shortages,
that's it.
but that's
So now
not
we're back-
normal.
right.
We're back into normal times. We're going to see a lot of you that have purchased cars from City Kia that used to be lease customers, like myself and Trendy, for example. Because of the cycle, I didn't trade at the time that she did. She purchased it because it made more sense at that time. But today, with the new programs that we have at City Kia, the exciting news is money factors have come way down, so the interest is less on certain leases, on certain models that we have, less than the interest rate on a finance purchase.
And that was my point in asking that
I'll
question.
give you an example. Let's say with excellent credit, your rate is 6.9. When you use the money factors we have on certain select models, that money factor equates to about 2.5% interest. So you're paying less interest, and you're only paying depreciation for the time you're using it. 36 months worth of depreciation already calculated. So now, the other caveat. So let's say you had a car and you have negative equity, and every time you go to buy a car, you always have this problem with negative equity, and it keeps growing.
Right.
A lease is a way to get rid of the negative equity for once and all. So let's say you're at a $400 car payment and you go to a $550 payment or a $600 payment on a comparable model car. You pay a little bit more, but by the end of that lease, your depreciation is all done. You lose no more money. That lease paid for the previous sins, and you start a fresh lease. And that car, if you replace the car with pound for pound with a similar car, what happens is you actually on your second vehicle, your payment's going to drop.
And you have a nicer, newer car under warranty.
Right, and you're always under warranty. That's a big advantage. Let's talk about one of the biggest advantages of leasing. And I use this example with customers and training. So let's say Trenny and I, right now, we went out and we bought, Trenny leased a new vehicle, and I leased this. Let's say we both leased two brand new. She purchased and I leased a brand new Telluride. We both paid the same amount of money for the car. Call it $60,000. What is a lease, one's a purchase? Depreciation she's already paid for over the 5, 6, or 7 years she's financing. Mine's calculated 36 months. Here's what happens. A month from now, I invite Trenny to lunch, and we're in a parking lot of a restaurant, and a big truck backs into Trenny's car and my car and hits us hard, and we have $10,000 worth of damage. The insurance company fixes the car, repairs the car, spends $10,000 to repair our vehicles. Here's the difference. Trenny just lost $10,000 of diminished value because her thousands of dollars, not 10,000, thousands of dollars, because that car is not worth the same as it was before the accident. So that could have in a $60,000 vehicle, that could be a $10,000 to $15,000 average reduction in value. So not only is she paying for the depreciation for 5 or 6 years, now she's got this car that she owns and she's making payments on, and she's already lost another $15,000 in value. Now me, on the other hand, I lease the car, right? So the dealer may not want a car because I had a pretty severe accident. It's okay. I work out my lease. When the lease is over, I can trade the car in. I can give it back to Kia, or I can walk away and get a bicycle and ride my bicycle home. So you have options. You have more options when you lease in today's world than when you buy. And it's a shorter term commitment, and life changes rapidly, as we all know.
I was just going to say, in the same example, a $60,000 Telluride, that happens, it's hit, now it's diminished value.
Worth 50.
And then suddenly...
But your payments, you're still paying for the full 60.
You're still paying for this full 60, but then you also have to where you now need to downsize for whatever reason.
Or when you go to trade in the car,
and she's
in trouble because she's going to be way negative because...
Just to walk away from the car, I got to stroke a check, right?
You can't walk away because I leased it, you bought it.
But if I buy it just to get rid of the car, I have to write a check to pay.
No, you trade it in, but you're going to have to put a bigger down payment down on your other car to cover that $10,000 that you lost.
Right.
That comes out of your pocket again.
That's because people want to buy cars, but even hypothetically, like worst case scenario, just to walk away from a car, you would have to stroke a check to be done with it. Right, that's my point. That's
right, you got a full balance or trade it in. Now, a lot of people trade cars like that in, but if the first car you put $2,000 down, get ready to put $12,000 down on the second car to keep a similar payment because you lost $10,000 because of the accident.
And now you got to roll that into a new payment.
So that's why I've always been a big advocate. I come from South Florida. Well, I'm from New York originally, but I come from South Florida, which is ground zero. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and California is where leasing exploded 30 years ago. And in today's world, between Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, Subaru, Hyundai, and Kia, and many other brands, but those main brands, over 70 in Lexus, over 70% of those transactions in South Florida are leases. So there's more people leasing in South Florida, in the New York tri-state area, and in California than they are buying cars.
Why would anybody buy a car today now under these newer technology?
Great question. Two things. If you're a first-time buyer, you don't qualify for a lease.
Okay.
If you have derogatory credit, less than a 620 beacon score, you do not qualify for a lease.
Okay.
So those customers have to buy a car. And as their credit improves, on their second car, they should be able to, if they did pay their car on time, please do that. No matter what you commit to, make sure you pay your car on time. And for example, a first-time buyer that bought a car that's making their payments to Kia religiously, or Ally, or any Capital One, or any of our banks or credit unions, if they pay that bank on time for 12 to 14 months and they want to trade in that car, if they're in an equity or in a normal position, not with a bunch of negative equity, and that can be solved with cash down, they will be able to, on their second purchase, maybe qualify for the lease. Many of them do. Once they show the bank that the bank has a history of making payments on time, they will risk it. First of all, your beacon score is going to go up. So by paying the car on time for 12 to 14 months, your credit score is going to improve dramatically, and you should go right into leasing.
And that qualifies you for the best incentives that are out.
Absolutely. And right now, like, we have several products, like the new EV9. Everybody, the North America EV Sports Utility of the Year, Kia just won that. We just won that award for the North American Best EV SUV. That's a big honor. Telluride won it when it first came out. Now this is an EV1.
Right.
So we have the Telluride winner. We've had the Stinger winner, and now we have. We had the EV6 winner, and now we have the EV9 winner. We've won Yahtzee every year.
We have so many winners.
We do have so many winners. So right now, the lease on the EV9 is extremely attractive. The lease on the EV6 is extremely attractive. Let me tell you what else you got. Because when you lease a car, one of these Kia cars, any one of our Kia vehicles, but if they're EVs, you can use the $7,500 tax credit. So right now, when we give you a payment on an EV6, EV9, or Nero EV, or any of our EVs,
right, the tax
credit of $7,500 is in the lease. So if you could buy or lease a car, you got to lease it if you qualify, because you're getting $7,500. It's only a $5,000 assistance on a purchase, but you get to sell $7,500.
I didn't know that. So you get $7,500 on the lease?
Yes. So what's happening now is some consumers that are very savvy with their money and they know how to budget, they're going in, leasing these cars, and then a year from now refinancing the car, or get with a credit union or with one of our banks, refinancing the car, and they've already gotten the $7,500 tax advantage. So you're ahead of the game by $7,500. It's amazing. So
Savvy
right now,
math.
I'm really excited. The new EV9 has brought so much energy to our retail environment. People are so excited about it. I'm excited about it. I drove one about 2 weeks ago for a weekend. It was amazing.
It's just such a beautiful
I sold it the next day. But
SUV.
You really got to, in today's world, if you don't come to City Kia, guys. We got another winner.
Yay! Woo! Well, Raul,
you know, at City Kia, every time somebody buys a car, we celebrate your victory. You bought a car, we celebrate it.
And your whole team, that all of this information that you have, that you're giving out here on podcasts, that whoever's watching or interested in getting information about these kinds of things, you have your whole team trained, up to speed.
But here's what I'm going to tell you. Let's say you're watching this. Well, let me clarify something. City Kia ships cars everywhere. We've even shipped cars last year to Alaska. So I ship cars to New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Georgia, Texas, 3 of them last month. We ship cars anywhere. But let's say you're in a place that you're listening to this podcast and you can't get to us. We understand that. But when you go to your local dealer and try to get a great deal, make sure that you tell them that you'd like to see a lease option as opposed to a purchase option. What is my interest rate on the lease calculated and the money factor? What is my interest rate on the purchase? My lease is 36 months long. My purchase is 72 or 75 months long.
Right.
Big differences. you do yourself a favor, because if you have excellent credit, you deserve a break. You deserve the $7,500 tax break. You deserve to get a great deal because you've done a great job with your credit. And if you're reestablishing your credit, at City Kia, we help people like that every day. It's happened to all of us at one point in our lives. One thing you can't control is destiny or what's going to happen in life. You know, life is like a box of chocolates. Like remember,
you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. So you may have a great month, and then not it's a great month. But all that said, so if your credit does get damaged, you come to us. We'll put you on a road to recovery. We'll get you a car loan. We'll help you reestablish your credit. And who knows, 14 to 60 months from now, that same customer comes back in, and guess what? You're leasing a car, baby.
Now your credit's up, and you're in business.
So I'm really excited about leasing coming back. It's going to give, I love my consumers. Like when you come to City Kia, you may come in looking for a 24 Sorento or 23 Sorento. We're going to show you that vehicle. We're going to show you an alternative certified pre-owned vehicle because we believe in customer choice first. We want transparency. We want the customer to have choices and options. No, you're not stuck having to buy this car for $700. How about this one for $495?
Right.
And if that one works for you, we just saved you $200 a month. You saved yourself $200 a month by making the wiser choice. So, and the whole staff is trained, like Trenny says, to better serve you.
And my kids have purchased from City Kia, so they've been fantastic. Well, Raul, thank you so much.
All right, wait, pause. All right, so now, but you're gonna edit that, right, honey? I'm hacer editing. Okay, so now,
cut.
Trenny, I've enjoyed spending time with you today. It's good to be back on our podcast. If you guys have been watching, thank you for watching. Keep following us. You can also see this on YouTube, right, Janica? And we want you to follow us regularly. We're going to start a new sweepstakes on our YouTube channel. So we're going to announce it. I'm going to announce it right now. How's that? I'll deal with Hanukkah and Trenny after the fact.
Yeah.
Every month, starting in February, we will, for all the people that are following us on YouTube, we will. When you buy the car, we're going to give you a winning number. Every month, we will publish that number by the 3rd or 4th of the next month, and somebody's going to win a television, a 70-inch, 4K smart TV, and every month we're going to be giving that away or a barbecue, but we're going to keep it interesting. So follow us on YouTube. It's really important, guys, and pick up a free TV, a barbecue, maybe a tool set. We're always thinking about different ideas.
Absolutely. You're always outside of the box.
I want to thank you once again. Bye, everybody.
Thank
We'll see you soon.
Bye. See you soon.
Whoa, make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia. To City Kia.